So, Bob, what do your God bumps feel like?
All right, let's see. I've listened to you talk about them, but for me, in my place in the spiritual world, it feels like to me it's a quiet reassurance that whatever's going on in my life, there's an answer and an appropriate response or action that, when applied, is going to result in a favorable outcome for all
Mm,
concerned. Now, the important part of this is it works best when I recognize that this is not about me, but it's about everything around me in my own personal world, my own place in the larger framework of creation.
mm,
So, I try not to make anything about me in a selfish sense, self-serving.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so what do your God bumps feel like emotionally?
Okay, I was thinking about that, and mostly they feel like an alert, directing
Okay.
me to pay attention
Hmm.
and conduct myself more consciously than just going about my business as usual.
Hmm. Okay, so they're like a signal or a phone call or something, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Reminder, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how often do you feel your God bumps?
Um, I was thinking about that, and I probably, felt them, without really recognizing them too much, more earlier than I do now. Not too much anymore. I'd say maybe once or twice a week.
Hmm.
And I want to say that, for years I've worked on living a more spiritual life. And I do that. I try to do that 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Hmm.
So I spend a good amount of time each day connecting in various ways with what many call the Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
And so it's not so much as a God bump, but more of a conscious tuning in
Hmm.
the higher frequencies of spiritual information channels,
Hmm.
with less attention paid to the lower frequency channels of the
Right.
ordinary human condition that we're
Hmm.
all exposed to.
Right.
So that's the way I would express it.
Okay, so when you feel these God bumps, do you get like goosebumps or chills or see anything or hear anything inwardly?
Um, not no, not so much like that. No, no.
Okay, or is it? Do you just have a knowing that yet you're
Yeah,
being
yeah,
you're being called, right?
yeah. Exactly right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. What was the first time you felt this calling, this signal?
Well, I spent quite a bit of time thinking about that question, and my response, is understand that I didn't recognize it as such, but
Mm-hmm.
it probably, first occurred, in my early life. And later on, there's a question that you asked, which I think I can explain that a little bit more detail. But it was, the one that I can, distinctly remember was probably when I was in college 60 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, I didn't recognize it at the time as God bumps or your spiritual impulses, that kind of thing.
Right. Right. Okay. So, are your God bumps coming more often now?
I saw that question, and I'd say no. But the thing about it is they come when I need them, and when
Mm,
I ask for guidance or answers and solutions.
mm,
So I'm, in spiritual practice of asking. Yeah.
mm. Okay, so this feeling, this emotional feeling of a knowing, how long does that last? A few seconds or a few minutes or what?
Well, see, okay, we're probably going to get into some specific examples.
Okay,
So,
that's fine.
one of the things I wanted to say on this is that it depends. If the situation or solution is more complex, these answers usually come during my contemplation periods and they last for several minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, they come and are completed maybe in 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you want, I can give you a recent example.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I put this down. Just recently, my son, he's in real estate. He was driving to a client's house and turning into the driveway of the house. He didn't notice that the driveway was a real mess. Well, the bottom of his car got scraped, and he didn't realize the extent of the damage until it was too late. So, to make a long story short, his car was considered totaled, and
Oh,
he
wow.
worked a payout from the insurance company, but then was left without a car.
Hmm.
So, he had a friend that had an extra car to lend him, and he was using that for a while. But for a critical weekend, his friend's cousin from another country was coming in, and he needed to use the car. Now, I had loaned him my car on occasion too, but I needed my car for that weekend because I was going out of town.
Okay.
So, what to do? So this was where I got, a God bump, or what I call a nudge. I got a strong nudge to call his sister, my daughter,
Hmm.
who works right down the street at Apple. So the nudge hinted that maybe she knew a friend with an extra car,
Hmm.
or one of her Apple coworkers might have an extra car to loan. I didn't know.
Hmm.
But the thing was, I called her right away. I responded to that nudge by calling her right away.
Hmm.
She answered and said that she wasn't at work. She was at home preparing to leave on a flight to Seattle, and it was leaving in 1 hour. So I told her the situation, and she said, "Great, come on over. I don't have any need for the car for the next 3 days." So I
Hmm.
took my son over there. We picked up the car, had a good 15 minutes together with each other, and then
Hmm.
she went on her way. Matt drove the car home, and everything worked out. It wasn't a
Hmm.
long-term solution. It was just a good short-term solution. But I got this nudge, and
Yeah. Yeah.
responded to it immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. This hunch. Yeah. That's what I call hunches. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You just get an intuitive hit, and it was really good that you responded right away and put some energy into it.
Yeah. If I would have waited, we
Yeah.
might have even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. 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 In fact, I'm getting some God bumps right now about responding as fast as you can when you get a nudge like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So have your God bumps ever accompanied a major shift in your life?
So I took a while to think about what I wanted to say for that. And
Mm-hmm.
I did want to go ahead and respond to that, thing that I said about not realizing it as a nudge or a God bump or anything like that. But,
Mm-hmm.
the 60 years ago when I was in college. So I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you that story if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So 60 years ago, I thought I was on track to become a physicist. My first 3 semesters at Fresno State College were, I'd say, very successful. And then around the age of 19 or 20, everything in my life started unraveling.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing terrible in my studies, especially physics.
Mm-hmm.
I was pledging a fraternity to better my social condition, and that wasn't working either. And I was staying away from school and skipping classes.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't long until Uncle Sam stepped in, as if saying, "Hey, if you can't handle your life, I've got just the thing for you." So I got my 2S student deferment revoked. And less than a week later, I got reclassified 1A status. You know what
Mm-hmm.
that means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. About 2 weeks after that, Uncle Sam directed me to report to an Army facility for induction.
Mm-hmm.
And my induction period was about 3 weeks from the date that I got that. Hmm. I didn't know what to do. And the thought of where I might be shipped off to did not give me much hope about the future. So now here's the thing. Okay. I remember watching TV, and an ad came on about how exciting a future one could have by joining the Navy and at the
Mm-hmm.
same time supporting the armed services.
Mm-hmm.
Now, note that I had probably seen that ad other times in the past and didn't pay much attention to it.
Sure.
This time, I got a strong message on the inner. This is it. There's not much time left. You need to take action. It didn't come in those words, but it was that same message, and it was communicated very forcefully.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been one to be impulsive or act without giving things a lot of thought. But the next day, I went down to my local Navy recruiter's office and enlisted in the Naval Reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And that started a chain of events that changed my life dramatically.
Mm.
Might have even saved my life. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had 1 year of active reserve training so I could stay in Fresno another year and prepare for this new future.
Mm-hmm.
And then I experienced more in the next 2 years of active duty than most people experience in a lifetime. And I did actually get to see Vietnam, but from an aircraft carrier 15 to 20 miles offshore. So I had an incredible 2 years. And, it was all, due to the action that I took as a result of that nudge and that ad.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Good story. Wow. Yeah. So, let's see. You use your guidance. I mean, your GodBumps, your nudges for guidance and decisions. You told me that. So, do you use them for anything else?
Well, let's see. For guidance and decisions, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to follow up on that, saying that one needs to get in the practice of asking for guidance.
Yeah.
You don't just wait for guidance.
Right.
You have to ask for it, and for solutions to challenging problems.
Definitely.
And it's not more than just asking. You have to actively listen.
Yeah.
Responses.
Expect an answer. Yeah.
Yeah. They come in the form of God bumps,
Yeah.
or in dreams, or in intercommunication exchanges.
Right.
And for anything else besides guidance and decisions, they're also beneficial in giving me regular reminders on spiritual disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. Spiritual disciplines I need to apply, things to do more of,
Mm-hmm.
and things to do less of.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to pay attention to that.
Okay.
And overall, constant reminders, this is the most important, to give love
Mm-hmm.
to all creation, and to see each individual as soul, a spark of the divine, just having a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
Makes things easier.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So, can you invoke this nudging at will?
I've tried to explain that a little bit before by saying that not at will, but one needs to ask for guidance and solutions to challenging situations.
Okay.
You need to ask with humility and in a calm demeanor, not out of desperation.
Yeah.
And then one needs to actively listen for the responses with the expectation that a response will be provided.
Right.
And then one needs to wait for the responses and wait patiently. Remember, patience is a virtue.
Yeah. Right.
A lot of times they don't come right when you think you need them.
Right. Yeah, I think expecting is the key. Yeah. I think you got that one. Yeah. Okay, so did you notice that God bumps are catching? Because I had God bumps 3 times now when you were talking. I was wondering if you felt any nudges while you were talking the last few minutes.
No, but I asked for guidance. I asked for guidance as to how to conduct this interview with you.
Yeah.
And I got some good information. On
What did it say? What did it say?
My walk today. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What did it say?
I did it last night, and I got some good responses. Now, when you said, "Are they catching?" I wasn't quite sure what you meant by that, but I thought maybe do other people get them?
Well, yeah, it's. I guess it doesn't apply so much for you because you're more. Your God bumps are more intuitive hits, but I mean, I guess this would apply more to like people who get goosebumps in a group or a crowd that's at a concert and everybody's starting to feel the vibration, the tone, and they get and they feel the emotion of it all at the same time. So, yeah.
Don't know too much about that, but I
Yeah.
thought that when we were catching, I was thinking of your attendance at our spiritual explorations,
Uh-huh.
and that that's your God Bumps book has been mentioned. I've mentioned it even when you weren't there, and
Hmm.
the people in attendance, they like the idea of the God Bumps book. Yeah, I don't know whether they're going to buy it or not, but I hope that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
everybody that I've talked to thinks it's a great idea what you put in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I don't know. I had, that's sort of the end of the things that you were talking about, but I
Hmm.
had one more interesting thing I wanted to sort of conclude with.
Please do.
And I didn't mention this, but sometimes God bumps as answers to our requests for guidance
Hmm.
may come through someone else. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
earlier, and we're talking about a couple of months ago, I was trying to connect with my father and mother on the inner
Hmm.
planes to tell them how much I appreciated having them as parents
Hmm.
during our sojourns together, this
Hmm.
time around.
Right.
I was trying to have a dream experience with one of them in preparation for a dream workshop that we hold those fairly regularly,
Okay.
anyway, that I would be participating in
Hmm.
about 4 days. So I wanted to have some dream experiences. I actually did have an experience, a couple of them, seeing my father on the
Hmm.
inner. But later, after that was over, I still wanted to see how my mother was getting along without
Hmm.
success. So this is where it comes in. But then a friend, one of my ex family in Fresno, called me a few times, and this happened like 3.5 weeks ago, very
Hmm.
recently, um, and said, "Oh, Bob, I had this dream about you, and she saw my mom in a surrounding kind of like our Fresno home here,
Hmm.
Fresno family home. And I was pulling in with a car, evidently he said, backing it into a driveway. I don't know what the significance of that was. But she said my mom looked happy and appeared to look like a lady in her late 50s.
Hmm.
Now, the thing about this is that I hadn't shared with her my desire to connect with my mom.
Yeah.
So this is just out of the blue,
Hmm. Hmm.
this just happened, that
Hmm.
she said, "Hey, Bob, I got to tell you about this." Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
So that's what happens. Just a lot of times, you put these things out there, and other people respond.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
that way of the God bumps coming to you through other people.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Wonderful. Yeah. Hey, so you have any more comments or questions before we close?
let's see. Did I mention Ekankar?
No. Please do.
Okay. Oh shoot. Let's see. I wanted to. Another thing I tried to see whether I could get some information from was this. Do you see it?
How? Uh,
Anyway, it's
Not quite.
Ekankar wisdom on inner guidance. So
Okay.
just let's see. There's something that I wanted to read here, except we don't have too much light.
You can turn a light on if you want.
The Creator, the highest being, speaks. I'm going to have
Yeah,
to.
do it. Yeah, do it.
This might be useful. The Creator, the highest being, speaks to creation through the Holy Spirit. The Ek is what we call it. Means
Okay.
it's the Holy Spirit. The voice of divine love is very real. Those who enter into the higher reaches of heaven here and now in their state of consciousness see the holy light and hear the divine sound of God clearly in everyday life. The light and sound are God's way to communicate directly with us.
Mm-hmm.
They help develop our creativity, which makes us godlike.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's a lot of good information here, and if anybody is curious, they can explore more about Ekankar, the Path of Spiritual Freedom, on the ekankar.org website.
Okay.
Yep.
That'll do it. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, Bob. We really appreciate this.
You bet, and it was my pleasure. Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I will. I'll probably see you probably Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh,